Welcome back to my channel. My name is Will. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a blessed day wherever you are in your journey. Today, I want to discuss another option from Glock for EDC. I kind of didn't mention this in my previous cold weather EDC because I just didn't want to be redundant. A lot of you guys already know about this firearm, but maybe you don't. I have a lot of different friends, co-workers that are interested in self-defense, and a lot of them are first-time buyers or about to be. They ask me my opinion. I've been carrying firearms legally, I might add, for years, and I train. They know I train a lot, so they ask me my opinion on different firearms. This particular handgun, like I said, I didn't mention in my winter or cold weather EDC because it's redundant and the Glock 19X was present. And you already know which firearm it is. The Glock 45 came out a little bit after Glock introduced the 19X. Of course, they submitted the Glock 19X for the MHS program for the military trials. It did not win, which is debatable, but Glock released it. It's a peanut butter color, which Glock has never done before. It was the first slide with color. That sounds weird, but yeah, it was the first colored slide or firearm from Glock. Shortly after, they released the Glock 45. It was one of the first because when they introduced the Glock Gen 5, it did not quite look like how it looks now. It didn't have front slide serrations. It had a weird cutout in the front, and so it was a little bit different. So I guess you could call this the Glock Gen 5.2, or I don't know how you want to describe it. But anyway, they made some edits. So when the Glock 45 came out, it was in black, as opposed to FDE or Coyote or 50 Shades of Brown. Has the same Euro spec, shorter slide, longer frame, 19 slide, 17 frame. And, a lot of people, kind of are traditionalists and just wanted a black firearm. So Glock actually listened to its consumers and brought this out. Why would you pick this over a 19? Well, first of all, if you shot a 19, stock or otherwise, the grip is way smaller than this. That's a big reason why it's so popular, because it's so concealable. This is a 17 frame, so it's a little bit harder to conceal. You might print a little bit more, but you can control the recoil, felt recoil, or just in general, just control it better. It actually shoots way better than a Glock 19. So I have bigger hands, so I completely cover. It's it's no room. It's the bag, but so I can control this thing pretty well, just as well as my 17. That might be a reason why you would choose this over the 19. And just to compare, I'll show you the 19. Just an excuse to show it off, I guess. I love the 19. So, and by the way, all of these firearms that I'm showing in the background and that I'm showing are clear. Just so you'll see, it is clear. Well, as you can see, it's way shorter, and I put a flared mag well on my 19, which actually pushes my hand up more because my hands are bigger. So it actually pushes it up more, and I can control the recoil better. That's a little hack that I picked up from multiple people. Yeah, I never actually used a flared mag well, but it was a good idea because it actually does leverage your hand. It just acts like and this doesn't go anywhere once you shoot it. But anyway, to me, the 19 is so popular. It was one of the first firearms I learned to shoot on. I'm just used to shooting it, so I don't have a big issue with it. But the 19X or the 45 is way better as far as mitigating that recoil. And 17, of course, because it's a full-size firearm. So how does it compare to the Glock 17? As you already know, this is my baby, and like I said, a lot of people don't like it because, you know, it's kind of the muzzle flip on the 17 because it's so much length. So it does have a lot of muzzle flip, but once you maintain it, it's not as bad. For my first time gun owners, what would you choose? I probably would choose, if I just took out the 19, I'm into optics, so maybe you are too. The 45 might be better. How does it stack up against the 19X? It's pretty much the same gun. I will say that the 19X, given this color, you know, I'm just being honest, this is a pretty color. And that's part of the reason why I haven't had or made any modifications, because I just like how it looks. I still probably will get it cut for an optic because I'm so into RDS, red dot sights, red dot optics. It actually aids me greatly because, as I mentioned before, I have an astigmatism and I'm left eye dominant, and shoot right-hand, I'm actually ambidextrous. With Glocks, it's a learning curve with the grip angle and trigger control, because they don't have the best triggers. But once you get used to Glocks and you put in time, put in work with the training, they shoot lasers, and that goes to why they're so popular too. But anyway, the 19X versus the 45, pretty much the same gun. Glock 19X, you know, it doesn't come straight from Glock with the slide cut, but that's one advantage with the Glock 45 MOS. Pricing, I picked this Glock 19X up 3 years ago, maybe. I got around $550, and I'll throw in some clips from guns.com. They're kind of pricey. Every firearm seems to be pricey right now. Locally, you might be able to find it cheaper. As you can see, this is the MOS version, which is a little bit more pricier than the stock option from Glock. I picked this up quite some time ago. I had plans on sending it to Agency Arms to have them do the Sage Edition package or whatever they call it, but it's kind of expensive. I still plan on doing that. I was initially going to do it with my 19X, but like I said, I love that color so much. The FDE that Glock used on that, and I'm saying that, but I'm about to get the slide cut. I picked up a 45, been sitting on it for a while because I carry my 43X and my 19 so much. And I carry my 17, especially as it's getting colder, I carry my 17. I don't carry my 19X as often. Definitely gonna start carrying this more. Like I said, I try to stick to one or two, and you guys know how I feel about my VP9. But anyway, got some Colt Whittington sights. Don't have the combat cut because it's straight from Glock, as opposed to Jaeger Works that did the combat cut, which is the sight is in front of the optic. Ameriglow, I think they're GL511s. I apologize for my it doesn't want to work. Doing a Trijicon RMR. I love RMRs. I like Holosuns as well. I don't mention them a lot because I don't have that many, but the 508T and the 509T, I don't know that much about the EPS carry. Trijicon Type 2 RMR. This is actually, I believe, a 6 MOA dot. This is one of the first RMRs I ever purchased. But with that bigger dot, this is a side note, that bigger MOA dot for self-defense, you can pick it up faster, to me. But once you train, I mean, I prefer smaller dots because for precision shots, the bigger MOA dots do help you pick it up faster. Streamlight TLR7A, no X300. I have been trying to get another Radian Ramjet afterburner combo. Those things are unobtainium right now. I even reached out to Radian like, hey, you guys releasing another one or releasing some more batches? And they didn't really have an exact ETA, but I want to buy another one. I actually want the Sage Edition compensated from Agency as well. That's another option, but those are unobtainium too. As I told someone recently, they were looking into the 19X or the 45. It depends on if you want to go with optics. The MOS version 45, yeah, it's just as expensive as a 19X. So I would probably go with the 45. But if you like the color, the FDE, no issue with going with the 19X. I'm just a regular guy. I don't have any Gucci things so far on my channel. I try to just keep it simple. In my opinion, I would say if you have it, you may want to just consider picking up both of them. But a lot of people, like I said, just getting into it, I prefer them to buy ammo and just train with one firearm until you get proficient, and that's what I did. If you want to pick up two, no problem with getting the 19X and the 45. You could also do some cool stuff. A lot of people mix and match like this. As you can see, the two-tone is another way to go if you pick up both. Or you can go with something like this. That's cool looking as well. Also, like I said, I forgot to mention, 17 round magazines for the flush. You can go with the 19, and I don't have it with me. Or you can go with 24, 33, 31 or something like that. This is a great option, but like I said, I didn't want to mention this in my previous video. Which one would I choose? I probably would go, based on my preferences, with the Glock 45 MOS. Or if you can, just get both. They're basically essentially the same gun. What I've noticed is the trigger is a little bit better with the 45. I'm not sure if it's something, I don't know. You know how it is. Glock triggers don't feel the same. You might get a great one or you might get a bad one. But luckily, all of my Glocks pretty much, just shoot. I shoot a lot. They're pretty broken in. Glock 45 is definitely a great option. As I always mention, like I tell people to ask my opinion, just get one gun and train. I don't care if it's a High Point, a Taurus, and that's another note. I see a lot of toxic comments and even in everyday life, if you don't agree with somebody or you don't like what someone else likes, they usually put the other person down. It doesn't matter. As long as you train so you're prepared for a threat, if it happens, that's all that matters. There are some great budget firearms, like Taurus. The new G3C is pretty good. I've been telling my brother about that one because I had a G2C originally. That was one of my first gun purchases, was a G2C. This was years ago. But yeah, there's some great options out there. But as long as you just take the time to just get acquainted with your firearm and train with it, that's all that matters. I don't care what you're carrying. Like I say, you can be carrying a Staccato or a High Point. Just get out there and train. Curious to hear your thoughts on what you think, Glock 45 or Glock 19X or 19 or 17. But just jump in the comments and let me know what you think. All right, till next time.